What's up, guys? Today I'm going to do a quick rundown of Marvel Rivals' newest hero, Phoenix, aka Jean Grey. She is a new ranged duelist character that plays quite similar to other heroes like Hela and Moon Knight. Enemy players will need to learn how to spread out or they will be KO'd very, very quickly. She has a little bit of mobility, some crowd control, she's very accurate, she can punish players that stand too close to each other. She has a few quirks and a little combo or two, and she has an ultimate ability that's one of the best in the game. But we'll start with the basics of her kit and we'll go from there. Alright, so as always, we will start with the basic attack. And with Phoenix, her attack is, it's not bad. It's basically like a hit scan. It has decent damage from range. It has some significant damage fall off, so you kind of want to be mid-range with somebody. But overall, it's a great attack. It's easy. It fires fast. The most important part of her attack is basically this spark counter. So you'll see when I hit this opponent here, they get a little icon above their head. When they get to 3 stacks, which is 3 hits, they will detonate and explode. When they explode, if there's anyone within their radius, it will add a spark to that opponent as well. I'll show you more of that in a little bit. If you get a headshot on somebody, it immediately adds 2 spark stacks on there. So a headshot and a body shot will make them detonate. If otherwise, you need 3 body shots to make it detonate. It's kind of an interesting ability. You could stack up multiple stacks on different people, and then if they somehow get close, you could detonate them all, at once. It's kind of hard to pre-plan that, but her basic attack itself combos amazingly well with like a Groot ult. She's basically a Moon Knight ult with just her basic attack. So it's pretty insane if you can group people up and she can hit multiple people at a time. I want to point out as well that whenever you trigger the third, like the explosion from the sparks, the third hit, she begins to get healing over time. Similar to like a Mantis heal, you can see my health there. She gets a heal over time. It's nothing crazy, but it does help sustain you. It heals you for 40. You can basically keep it going forever if you can keep detonating the stacks and basically have a constant heal over time if you can constantly trigger her spark. So it's not bad. It definitely adds to her sustainability. It's nothing insane, but hey, if you're playing a little poke war against an enemy Hela or a Widow, or you're just taking random damage from something, it really helps to sustain you. Okay, and like I was saying before, if you have 3 stacks on an opponent and they explode and there's someone else nearby, then the other person nearby will also get a fresh stack of spark on them. So it makes it quicker to detonate. Now I just have to hit the other person twice or 1 headshot and they will detonate. And the cycle goes on and on. So if people are really stacked up, if it's really a tight choke point or something like that, you can have multiple detonations happen very, very quickly. We'll show you here once these two get near each other. See, it added 1 stack to this other Groot. So now I can hit him and carry on those stacks, and you could potentially, basically transfer stacks onto all kinds of different people. So that's the basic attack. It's nothing too complicated. Get 3 stacks, detonate, add stacks to other people. You get self-healing. It's some of her other abilities that have a little bit more nuance to it. So we'll move on to the second ability here. Okay, so Phoenix's second ability it looks like this. Basically, you can shoot it directly at somebody. You can shoot it on the ground. You can shoot it on a wall, and it'll carry along a wall. What it does is this first hit actually stuns the opponent for just a moment, and the next 2 blasts will slow anyone that gets hit by them. So I could hit this Groot, it'll stun him, it'll go through and it'll keep hitting other people, and it adds spark charges onto people based on how many times they get hit. The initial stun will interrupt ults. Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange or whoever that's ulting, it will interrupt those. And it's got a little bit of a delay when you actually click it before she fires it. It's slightly delayed, but it's pretty easy to hit. It's kind of interesting how it can go on walls or on the floor or even on the ceiling. For example, if there's a low ceiling somewhere, you could shoot it on the ceiling and hit people. You can basically do damage around corners in a way. If opponents were camping this corner, I could shoot like this, and it's going to go around there and do damage to people, right? Same thing on the wall. It'll creep its way up the wall. It kind of goes on a weird angle a little bit. If I shoot at the wall here, you'll see that it kind of is on a slight angle. You'll really notice it if I shoot at the back wall here. For some reason, it goes even more angled. If it does hit like a little edge, like you'll see how this is slightly sticking out from the wall. If I shoot this here, oh, it actually worked that time. It'll quite often die on this wall. See, it just disappears and dies. So if it doesn't have anywhere else to go, like if I hit it here, it'll go into the wall and do nothing. So it won't creep its way up the wall unless you start it on the wall. It's a really good attack overall. Obviously, whenever you have like a kind of mini stun, it's powerful. Plus the bonus damage, it's great in choke points, adding multiple stacks to enemies. You know, you can just detonate people like crazy. It's extremely powerful, like I was saying, with Groot's ult. The fact that it's basically Moon Knight's ult, except very instantaneous. You can just imagine if there's like 3 or 4 opponents here, and we're right-clicking and then immediately spamming our basic attack and triggering all sorts of explosions. Just insane amount of damage. So the attack it's strong, it's good, it's kind of fun to use. I found a couple little spots where, you know, I'm throwing it on a wall and hitting people, and they don't know what's hitting them because they're already around the corner. But yeah, not too complicated, easy to understand. Just you kind of gotta learn some spots where you can use it effectively, and I think it gets even better the more that you play with it. Okay, moving on to Phoenix's dash ability, her left shift. Nothing insanely crazy. I mean, you can either dash the side, the front, the back, wherever you're kind of pushing your character. Very simplistic. It's on a 12-second cooldown. The main thing about it is that it leaves a little clone behind. If you dash backwards, you can see it. Leaves a little Phoenix there. And that Phoenix will detonate, and it'll add a spark stack onto an opponent. Not crazy damage or anything like that. You're using it most of the time to get out of trouble. But you can kind of combo it. If someone like lands right in front of you, you could right-click them, hit space to back up. Or sorry, hit shift to back up. The clone detonates, and then you're basic attacking the stunned opponent. Something like this. You know, and you can almost kill people instantly. Or if you get a headshot, it kills a lot of the squishies very quickly. But it's... yeah, basically it's a mobility piece with a slight little thing that you could use to combo. Other than that, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. You can also use it when you use your E. That allows you to just kind of fly up and down. You can fly forward as well with the shift and, you know, give yourself a little bit of an aerial boost. Her E ability in general, the flight, it's very simplistic. You turn it on, you can move around and fly, so you can fly forward with that. If you shoot or use an ability when you're in flight mode, like if I go up and shoot, I'll immediately cancel flight mode and fall back down to the ground. It's fairly simplistic. I guess while we're here too, I want to point out that the Phoenix itself that's floating beside Jean, you cannot hit it. It's not part of the hitbox really. Her hitbox is a little bit weird. Like if I'm here and I'm shooting at this, it will hit her, right? But that's just part of like how the third-person models work. But yeah, the Phoenix thing itself doesn't really add to her hitbox. She is just mostly just her body. I think the worst part about her character model is that, you know, you can't really hide around corners very well. You know, you might hide around a corner and peek and see when people are coming. But because her character model is kind of wide and with like these wings sticking out, people can kind of see you corner peeking. So she's not too good at that. But whatever, that's forgivable enough. And the last thing we kind of want to get into, of course, is her most powerful ability by far, her ultimate. So when you press Q, if you're on the ground, you'll fly up automatically. You have a few seconds here to kind of aim where you want to go. And then you click and you start, you know, just dashing right towards that spot. She can be killed out of the air. So when you go up in here and you're using this, you only have 400 health. So, you know, if the opponents have good aim or good awareness, or like there's a Punisher standing back here that ulted and he sees you go up there and ult, you know, they could kill you out of your ult. It's a little awkward how it works. When you're first aiming like this, you can, you know, just aim wherever you want. And when you first click, you can kind of turn and change it yourself. But after one moment of after you click, like when I go click right here and you start moving, once it like kind of boosts forward, you have very, very little control over what you can do to move the character. So basically make sure, like if you're trying to aim around corners, you kind of got to do it when she first starts going forward. You kind of aim around the corner and then you try and turn. But you lose most of your control once it starts boosting. This thing goes through walls. It's kind of like she's just nuking the battlefield, honestly. It's insanely good. I think it does damage in a 60-meter radius. It destroys everything. I mean, it destroys shields. It breaks, bubbles, rockets, like all of Rocket's contraptions and stuff, penny nests, Groot walls, bonus health. Like if Venom hits his E, just as your ult slams the ground, he'll immediately lose all of his bonus health. Or if Wolverine's regeneration triggers, actually I think it can kill Wolverine and he won't even get his regeneration thing to trigger. It is incredibly powerful. It's like the ultimate counter to Rocket Raccoon. If Rocket ults, a bunch of people will get shields and he puts his device up, and as soon as you ult and hit the ground, the device is gone, all their shields are gone. It's like Rocket never ulted, and they take a bunch of damage, right? So it's incredibly powerful in that regard. You basically can't miss. Like the radius is so massive. It's up there for best ult in the game for sure. I want to point out a cheeky little thing here. You know how, well, this building's completely destructible, but it's an ultimate that also you can kind of hit people unsuspectingly without them being able to kill you by going through stuff. So like I could just ult right through this building. She'll fly right through it, and so they won't see it coming. Same with, if you have a little spot that, the wall's destructible or something. You don't have to shoot a hole in the wall and then ult through it. You can just crack the ult and fly right through the hole and right into the enemy team. It's an extremely powerful ultimate. No real downside. I want to point out as well that if you're very low on health or if you've taken any damage at all, when you ultimate, you will respawn back with full health. You always go back to the spot where you cast your ultimate, so you can cast it very safely from across the map. I could be way over here, and see, I'll go underneath, and I'll go right back to where I started. So she can cast it safely. You could use it, from really far away or from your spawn and try and get a big shot off. Really strong. The closer you are to enemies, the more damage they take. There's not really anything else to be said about it other than, yeah, this thing is a bomb and it hurts. And just to wrap it all up, I mean, she's got a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. Like I said, you can right-click on ceilings. You can right-click on walls. She has self-healings. She has good poke. She has great AoE damage. She has a mini stun to interrupt ults. Her ultimate itself is incredibly powerful. She has a little bit of mobility. She's kind of like she does it all, and she does it all quite well. I think the character is really powerful. This kind of combo with the right click, back up, shoot him in the head thing is going to be really strong against certain dive characters, right? It will kill like a Black Panther or somebody almost instantly. Spider-Man, he's toast if you can catch him with it, right? Overall, the character's fun. She's great. Enemies need to learn to stand apart from each other. She might help Groot come back a bit. Groot's kind of not been played as much recently, and we've seen a lot of Penny Parker and Rocket Raccoon, and she is like a massive counter to them. Basically, they have to ban Phoenix if they want to play Rocket or Penny or both. She's a must ban. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will try and help you guys answer it. I just wanted to keep this video very simple. And I can't wait for the character to come out. I'm waiting for next season. It's going to be dope. So thank you so much. Take care, everybody.